Is the exterior of your home looking dull, dingy, and weathered? Are you looking for an update to the exterior of your home? Are you looking for something that might look like this? Or something that might look like this? Yes, fine new side paneling, additional windows, and a nice new white trim. But wait, there's always more. What about a new deck? Plus, those expensive heating bills for the pool. Make them go away instantly, quickly, and easily. Yes, all of these techniques and more are available to you when using the new Vanishing Point feature found in Photoshop CS2. Now, to simplify this presentation, I'm going to demonstrate how I've placed this new side paneling, these new windows, and this new trim on this particular exterior. Let's get started. It begins here with the original exterior. I'm going to move back over to my layers palette and eliminate some of these layers I created earlier. This leaves me with two layers. The one layer here at the top is my shading layer. I created this earlier with my paintbrush tool and some selections to blend the new results from Vanishing Point more accurately into the base layer. You'll notice that I set the mode for this to multiply. Now you know. Let's get started. Our story begins by creating a new layer. Whenever working with Vanishing Point, I like the results to go into its own unique layer. So I now have layer number 1 and it's targeted. You also need to know that you'll need some patterns, textures, or in this case, my side paneling here. So I have something I'd like to use within my image. I'm going to select all of this and then copy it into my clipboard. Then let's go to my image. Before moving into Vanishing Point, I'd like to make a selection. As you see here, I previously defined an area where my side paneling would go. You'll notice that I have excluded the areas within the windows and doors. Now, with this selection mask on, I now move into Filter and Vanishing Point. It will then use this selection as a mask as we build the siding around the buildings. Now here we are, of course, in Vanishing Point. I created these panels earlier. As you can see here, I can extend these panels and add additional panels. In fact, let's add an additional panel here by clicking and dragging a new panel off here. I can also extend the height of these panels like this. In fact, I want to extend these so that it covers the entire area where I'm going to place my new side paneling. Now this is great. All I do now is do Command V or Control V and paste this into my image area. Watch this. I'm going to click here in the upper left hand corner and then move it down into the defined masked area. Watch what happens. Snap! It then changes the orientation of my side paneling to match the perspective that I defined earlier with my panels. If I move this into position like this, I can then duplicate it. So I can hold down the Option key on the Macintosh or the Alt key on the PC in combination with the Shift key, then slide this pattern over and it will then align perfectly across my image. And then I can move this across, come up to the corner, just like this. Notice how nicely my window is showing through this new side paneling. I can then click again and move around the corner, and it snaps right around the corner and the pattern will align. Again, through the combination of these keystrokes, I can then slide this across and make duplicates. Notice how I continue to the corner, then move around to my next panel, and it snaps to that new orientation and perspective of that panel. Of course, I can move this pattern up and realign it here. And then, again, with it still selected, move it around to this side. Notice how it follows with me and the alignment stays true because I'm holding down that Shift key. That's great. We're done with that part of this project. The next thing we need to do is to copy and make duplicates of this window. With my marquee tool selected here, I can move into my work area, click and select this window. In this case, I'm going to hold down the Option key on the Macintosh or the Alt key on the PC and combine it, of course, with the Shift key, so that it defines the perspective and keeps it within the same alignment. I'm going to move a window here and then also move one over here. Now I want to place a new window on the other side. It's easy, it's quick, it's simple. Just click and drag and move it over here. So great! I'm going to place this into position. But wait, the orientation of this window is backward. If I select the Transformation tool here from the tool palette, notice that I can easily flip or flop this image. So what I want to do is flop this image so that it appears more correct for this side of the building. Watch as I click on flop. There, that's better. It appears as if the window is correctly placed in perspective on that side of the wall. Great. Let's now click OK and see what our results look like. That's incredible. Let's hide the selection and take a look at this. Of course, you can see that my shading layer is coming in handy now. If I turn this off, you can see it's original, and then here with my shading on. So now we want to go back in and put in that nice new white trim along the edge of the roof. Do you remember the selection we had earlier? We do not need that at this time, so we're going to deselect that selection. Now let's go back into Vanishing Point. You'll also notice that layer number 1 is still targeted. That's where I want my results to go. This time we're going to use the Paintbrush tool here. And we're going to change our color over here to white. Then we're going to move our cursor into the work area. Now watch this. As I move this paintbrush, the paintbrush changes in size relative to its position in perspective, of course, defined by the panels we created earlier. How amazing is that? So now I adjust the size of this. Now watch carefully. I want to paint this trim very easily and quickly. I'm going to click once with my paintbrush tool here. Then holding down my Shift key and moving to this area farther in the distance, I'm going to click again. It then draws a paint stroke between the two clicks. Let's do that again here on the corner and then up here at the top of the roof. Notice that the perspective of the stroke is of course changing based upon the panels that it travels through. Unbelievable. Now all we have to do is click OK. And our finished results fall into position. So there you have it. Some amazing capabilities for placing patterns onto a perspective image. Take this same technique and go back in and try some of these other approaches of placing bricks onto the surface. Or our panels. I used a layer mask, as you see here, to combine the two together. I'll turn the layer mask on right now so you can see how I've combined two different patterns together. And of course, I went in and placed in some cement texture and my deck in the similar fashion as I did with the other patterns that I created across this surface. Give these techniques a try the next time you're looking to update the exterior of your weathered home.